Here we go, people. It's the big one. It's Leeds versus Manchester United. It's time for your live lineup reaction. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. I've been sat around all morning waiting for this time to come. Yeah, I'm as giddy as a box of frogs. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens with this one. I'm trying to temper my emotions at the minute because we all got massively giddy last time. And it was over within 3 minutes, Oscar. So we need to...
I was saying, last time, my famous last words were, look at Maguire. Look how nervous Maguire looks in the tunnel.
Well, and, I was going, Dan James, he's having a laugh, isn't he? Dan James, he ended up scoring. So, you know, we're trying to temper it. We're trying to temper it. Remember, as always, guys, that this video, this whole match day experience is sponsored by Manscaped. You can get 20% off using the code ALLLEEDSTV. Your balls will thank you. The link is in the description. If you're after some gear for yourself, for your partner, for your dad, whatever, get involved. Honestly, your balls will thank you. Oscar, how are you doing? How are the nerves? Before we go through the lineup, how are you feeling, brother?
I'll be honest, I just said to you off air, I feel pretty relaxed, you know. Yeah, check it out down below there, guys. I feel pretty relaxed, you know. I think no matter what, it can't be as bad as last time. It can't be as bad as last time. No. I think we're a better team.
It can, but no.
If it is, then that's just what it is. Yeah. But I can't see it. I don't know what to say after that. I think that's probably been done on YouTube, isn't it? If it is as bad. Yeah. But no, look. If we get a result against them today, it dents their title hopes completely. It's a big boost for us, confidence-wise. I think it's a chance to show that progression we've made over the last since we last played them, really. Certainly defensively. Obviously, Rente's in this time. I'd love to say we've got options off the bench, but we haven't got a lot of options off the bench. But yeah, I feel all right, mate. I feel all right going into this game. You know, it's... I think last time I was super positive. I was convinced we were getting a result there last time. Yeah, I didn't see us losing the game, to be honest, because I thought we were both at totally different trajectories at the time. This time, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more... they have got threat. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I feel all right, you know. I feel all right going into this.
I think one thing's for certain, if it was to happen again, we would all be saying, you're having a fucking laugh. I think that goes without saying if that happens again. But let's hope, fingers crossed, we have a better performance.
Make a change.
Make a change. Make a change. You're having a laugh. You know, it'll all be there. But listen, it is what it is. Emotions run high, as always, on football games. Right, let's get into it then, bro. Let's have a look at that Leeds United lineup first of all, and see how we've lined up. Does Raphinha make it? We know he didn't train. We know Rodrigo's a doubt. What does the bench look like? Let me just get rid of that banner along the bottom, and Oscar's going to take us through the Leeds United lineup. Go away, Oscar.
Let's go through then. So, Ilan Bellier in goal. No surprises there. At right back, we have Luke Ayling. Alongside Luke Ayling, we have Diego Llorente at centre-back. Ooh, where's Diego gone? Where is Diego gone? There's Diego. Alongside him, Pascal Struijk.
Nice. Virgil van Struik's in the house.
He's in the house. He's in the team. No surprises there. Jarny Alioski, left back. Holding midfield, Calvin Phillips.
Yes, man.
On the right-hand side.
Big game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Certainly after the last one. He's the player I look at and think, this is what... There's no player in that Leeds team this game means more than. And I think last time he got overruled, I think it shows a big stage of Calvin's development if he puts in a performance today. Very interesting to see how he gets on in this one. On the right-hand side, it is Helder Costa.
As expected. I think, you know, we all knew. Maybe some of us had a glimmer of hope, but we all thought Costa would start today. But he's got a big game. He played well against City, big game against Manchester United, making himself a hero today.
Of course. And on the left, but just confirming Raphinha is out of this game. There's Jack Harrison on the left-hand side. In the middle of the park, we have, just ahead of Calvin Phillips, we have Stuart Dallas. And alongside him, the man who's getting quite a run of games now, Tyler Roberts is alongside him. And up top, no surprises here at all. It is Patrick Bamford.
Big game needed from the lightning bolt, Patrick Bamford today, 100%. Massive game.
Absolutely. I think, to be honest, I think I said on the preview, that's the only way I see us winning this game is Bamford getting the better of Lindelof in the encounters. But let's just go through the full team. I'm just going to put the full team on screen so we can have a look at the bench as well. So full team's confirmed there. On the bench is Kiko Garcia, Robin Koch, Gaetano Berardi, Jamie Shackleton, Mateus Click, Somerville. Somerville's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Crescencio Somerville, Pablo, Ian Poveda, and Sam Greenwood. So a young bench, mate. A very young bench.
Very young bench, Oscar. Very surprised at seeing the youth on the bench. Look, maybe Geldart's taken a knock. That's why Greenwood's come in. Poveda's still there. Excited to see Somerville on the bench, though. He is someone that could come on and cause some problems. Naturally, you'd expect Poveda to come on first of all. I'm not sure we'll see them in this game. But the fact that they're on the bench means one of two things. Either Bielsa thinks they're ready and they're exciting, or it means we're thin on the ground. We need bodies to flesh out this bench, and that's all that's available. But in terms of the lineup then, mate, it's unchanged. Are you happy? You know, we know that we're pretty thin on the ground anyway, so there was no real major changes going to happen. But do you think we've got enough in that lineup, and what do you make to the bench?
In terms of the lineup, look, it's pretty clear that if we had all our players available, that isn't the team we'd go with in a game like this. There's no way Costa starts ahead of Raphinha. Roberts, starts in the game. But it's a big opportunity for these players now. Big opportunity, because a lot of those players today were involved in that 6-2 game. They've got a show. Yeah. I'm not going to say they're playing for the Leeds futures. That's over the top. But players like Costa, Roberts.
Well, you can make yourself a hero today as well, Oscar.
Exactly.
There's that.
Exactly.
There is that,
100%.
you know.
There's players in this team. If Tyler Roberts got the winner in this game, and left Leeds a month later, he would forever be remembered for that game. Yeah. Well, this is the thing, and like you said yesterday when you were telling us the last time we beat, our record against Manchester United in the league has never been great. You know, it's not great. So when we get the wins, they go down, they're remembered. And I think there's a real chance here for someone in this team to make themselves a hero, you know, to have an outstanding game. I'm looking at KP, I'm looking at Bamford, I'm looking at Costa, I'm looking at Harrison, you know, just these individuals, Dallas, you know. What happened last time was not acceptable. Yes, you know, we fought well in a sense, you know, we kept going, but ultimately the scoreline wasn't acceptable. And the lads, like you've said, that played in that game, you know, I'm just gonna have a look. Do you remember the lineup that played the last time out? I remember the back four was Dallas, Ayling, Cooper, Alioski. I think Rodrigo played the game. Raphinha definitely played. Click definitely played. So, but a lot of unknowns came on in that game. I think Costa came on. But yeah, it is obviously.
I'm going to have a look now. If we look at the actual lineups on that in the previous game, Paddy Bamford, Jack Harrison, Mateus Click, Rodrigo, Raphinha, Calvin Phillips, Alioski, Cooper, Ayling, Dallas. Ayling playing at centre-back, you know. So we've got Llorente in there. There's an improvement straight away. I know Ayling's great at centre-back, but better at right-back. Dallas playing at right-back. He's now playing in midfield. You know, we need big performances from some of these individuals. Obviously, Rodrigo and Raphinha not in, so you could argue that we're weaker. But those that are coming in, Costa, Roberts, they need to, you know, put a real, you know, stamp on this. And like I said, they can make themselves heroes in this game for me, massively. Guys, remember to smash a like on the stream, subscribe, share it all over socials. Naturally, we've got a lot of Manchester United fans in the house as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And yeah, let's go through that Manchester United lineup. I've seen a few comments coming in. I don't know it overall, but I've seen comments coming in, people saying we've put out a weak lineup. Is this maybe for the Europa League? I'm not sure, but let's have a look at their lineup, Oscar.
It doesn't look weak to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking at it now, but I'll go through it right now on screen. So we have Dean Henderson in goal. By the looks of things, it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, Victor Lindelof and Maguire as centre backs. Left back is Luke Shaw, and then holding midfield it looks like Scott McTominay and Fred. Then a front three ahead of them of Dan James on the left by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Probably Marcus Rashford off the left. Dan James on the right. Bruno Fernandes in the number 10 role and Mason Greenwood up front. So that's
it's quite
that
interesting
is not a weak
to
team.
see.
That is not a weak team.
No, see Rashford in there. Look, he's counting on pace again. He's putting in Rashford, Greenwood, and James. That is just pace. That's what he's looking for. The double pivot, like you say, of McTominay and Fred, they're going to be looking to get balls in behind, giving it into Bruno, looking for runners off him. You know, and let's be honest, you've got absolute three pace merchants there in Rashford, James, and Greenwood. You know, I'm quite surprised to not see Pogba start, if I'm being totally honest, and Cavani. I'm surprised not seeing Cavani start. Do we expect Rashford to play through the middle, or will he go with Greenwood, do you think?
I think Greenwood. Obviously, he's the informed man. I think a lot of the Man United fans in the actual...
They want him to play there, don't they?
They want him up there. So whether this is Solskjaer giving him an opportunity to play up top, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if Rashford's through the middle. Whoever it is, it's a massive threat in this game. And Llorente has got to get a handle on him, really. He's got to play like he did against Firmino. He's just got to, like Llorente does in these kind of games, make that early challenge in the first sort of 10 minutes, let him know you're there kind of challenge.
Well, especially, we've got Samueli Haponi here said Rashford hasn't trained all week. So I am really interested to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer put him straight in there if he hasn't trained. And like you say, we need to let them know we're there. You know, Llorente get into him, maybe he's struggling. Samuel thinks he's useless at number 9. I think, and like you said, I've heard a lot of Man United fans say this, that they prefer Greenwood as that central striker. That's where they see him long term. So maybe he gets a starting berth there. It does concern me the amount of pace that is in that front three. You know, Dan James, Rashford, and of course Greenwood. They're absolute pace merchants. But Leeds United don't play as high as we once did. You know, we're not the same team that lost 6-2 to Manchester United at Old Trafford. So it's interesting. What's their bench looking like, mate? Because as I say, I was really concerned about Cavani. Will we see him at any point? Has he made the bench?
So, yes, Cavani is on the bench. David De Gea, Alex Telles, Eric Bailly, Axel Tuanzebe, Juan Mata, Nemanja Matic, Paul Pogba, Donny van der Beek, who we actually haven't even mentioned, and Edison Cavani. So there's a lot of game changers on that bench.
There is. That's the thing, isn't it? I think, you know, if the game's deadlocked, it's one apiece. They can bring on Van der Beek. They can bring on Cavani. You know, they can bring on these individuals, Pogba, that are gonna change games. And like Owen says, Pogba and Cavani benched. I think a lot of it is due to the fact that they're coming up against the Leeds United side, and Ollie just thinks, get balls in behind like we did in that first game. Have some absolute pace merchants in Dan James, Greenwood, Rashford, and that's why he's benched Pogba and Cavani. And you can sort of understand why. You know, why he's looked to bench them. But know that if the game is tight, if it's deadlock 1-1, then we're going to see Pogba, we're going to see Cavani. And Cavani's lethal in the air. His movement's exceptional. And he's someone that, you know, I'm glad to not see starting, but also I understand why he's not started in this game. Just looking at that lineup then, who is it who fears you the most from the Manchester United lineup?
I think, depending on fitness, if Rashford's anywhere near fitness, obviously we're assuming he hasn't trained all week. Who knows? I mean, Solskjaer's obviously happy enough to start him in a game like this. And we know Solskjaer knows how big this kind of game is. Yeah. But Rashford last time, I don't think he actually scored in the 6-2, but he was the one that caused havoc. He was the one who picked up the ball on the halfway line and just drove our back four every single time. And that's why the likes of Fernandes, McTominay, Dan James had all that space. You know, every single time you're thinking, why are they on their own? Because we've had 2 or 3 players have to go over to try and deal with Rashford. Rashford is an absolute nightmare for a man-marking system. So I'm very interested to see how we deal with him this time around. Who sits on him? It probably will be Luke Ayling, but will Dallas drift over to that side and look to stop Rashford? You've got the problem with Bruno Fernandes. We know Bruno Fernandes, I think, he's a threat, isn't he? He's a
in that last game, mate, he scored a goal, he got an assist, and he scored a penalty, you know, so he was involved big time in that last game.
He's from distance as well, even if you're stopping getting into the box from distance. And that's the thing. If players like Rashford and Fernandes are on it, there's nothing Bielsa, our team, could kind of do, because of that. That's the difference in quality between the two teams. Having said that, though, there is some players in that team who Man United fans say aren't good enough. Not just me, but you like to Fred, Lindelof, and that lot, inconsistent players. Dan James, there's been question marks about Dan James. Of course, they are still all threats. They are still all threats in their own right if they're anywhere near at their top level. But that's my kind of hope, that we start the game well. I think game state's very important. If it is level, as you said,
massively.
If we're ahead, Pogba, Cavani are off that bench probably very early in the second half for me. So, I mean, it's interesting because we say about Pogba's not in the team, but then you have that extra pace on the counter without him.
Yeah.
But then you say they bring in Rashford instead. They don't quite have that same kind of guile in the middle of the park without Pogba. So there's positives and negatives. That's the thing. That's the depth they have. So it's going to be very, very tough, this. I think the team we've put out is very workmanlike compared to theirs. I think obviously like to Dallas, Tyler, Calvin in there. That's what we're going to have to be. We're going to have to be fantastic in the press today. We're going to have to get it absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to win this game today. I don't think it's a game where we're going to absolutely outplay them. I don't think we're going to win it that way. It's going to have to be a little bit more like the City game to an extent, where we might have to go a little bit against our principles from time to time, keep the fullbacks a bit deeper. Aylin, Alioski might have to stay back on the attacks. But that's the way I think we will. I think that's the thing Bielsa has shown this season, that he is willing to adapt. So, we will wait and see. But, I feel all right. I feel okay going into this. It's going to be tough, but I feel all right.
I just gonna flash up Shane's comments here. By no way am I, by calling them pace merchants, saying that they're in any way bad players. That's not what I'm saying. But you can understand why he's gone with pace. That was the point I was making there. So
I mean, if you've seriously
taken
that, from what we've said about Marcus Rashford, like for the last 5 minutes, that we just think he's a pace merchant, then I don't think you're listening very well. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah,
no, you're not listening. You're just listening to your blinkered Manchester United view there, Shane. You know what I mean? We're actually praising the likes of Greenwood and the likes of Rashford. Yeah, looking at the previous lineup as well, Martial led the line, and I think, Rashford from the left. So I do expect Greenwood to maybe start.
Greenwood's a far bigger threat than Martial, though, for me. As is Cavani. I think that's a bit of a worry in that sense. Yeah.
So thinking, obviously, you've mentioned there a couple of, danger, a couple of threats from Manchester United's perspective. From a Leeds United perspective, who for you needs to have an outstanding game in order for Leeds United to get a positive result today?
I think the spine of the team.
Yeah.
I think, Meslier, he's probably going to have to see a lot of action today in terms of Fernandes trying from distance, Rashford trying from distance. That's what they like to do. Cut in, take those shots on early. Obviously, Greenwood's sharp shooter. We know how good a finisher he is. So, obviously, Mellier's going to have to be on it. Llorente, obviously, he's the main difference between this team. From the 6-2 game, he's been absolutely outstanding week in, week out. Certainly the last sort of 6 to 7 weeks. He's going to have to be really good against Greenwood. Calvin, he knows what this game means more than anyone else. Him against Fernandes is a crucial battle for us. And I think Bamford against Lindelof is a critical battle in terms of us creating and causing them problems going forward. That's where he must target. He must target Lindelof out of the two for me. I think, regardless of what everyone thinks of Maguire and the fee that he paid, and everyone thinks he's a clown and he's a slabhead and he's a fridge and etc. But he's a great defender. It's just his mistakes get highlighted because he's captain of Manchester United and you paid 80 million for him. But he is a great defender and he has had a good season, albeit he has made a few errors. But that, as a defender or a goalkeeper, it's highlighted more. I think from a Leeds United perspective, for me, I think Calvin's got to have a great game today. And I'd call on Costa as well. Costa needs to ensure that the miss of Raphinha isn't as glaring as it should be. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I think he needs to really step up to the mark. If he's not, I think we might see Poveda sooner, just based on his, previous. Suhaib as well as mentioned about Pogba, possibly he's fasting with him being Muslim, so maybe that's why he's being dropped. I'm not so sure if that's the case. Maybe. Well, the thing is, that big game they've got on Thursday, they might look at it and think Pogba. They probably prefer him in that kind of game, in a European tie, a little bit more technical.
I'm not sure if this is the game for Pogba.
That's true.
Okay, might come on, but
fans in the grounds. If fans are in the ground, it'd be even less so, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the game. Is he going to be full of running and tracking his man and pressing, etc. Maybe not. He's a bit more of a flair kind of player, isn't he? Whereas I think he knows, Ollie, when he's putting out that side, that the likes of Dan James and Greenwood and that are gonna press from the front. You know, they're young lads. They're full of, you know, exuberance, etc. Dan James getting a rare outing. He's going to want to put a real performance in. Obviously, he scored last time out, so against Leeds. So it's going to be an interesting one, mate. But yeah, as the closer we get to kickoff, the more I get like little nerves, man, little nerves. But we've just got to ensure that we apply ourselves really well and get the challenges in and not let them. I mean, look, we know what happened within 3 minutes. That's not going to happen this time. That's not going to happen. You know, if it did, I don't know what I'll do, Oscar. I think I'll just throw down the headphones.
We might both be retiring tomorrow. I've said it won't be as bad as 6-2. You've said we won't be more than that. We might both be retiring after this.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
I agree. I think it's definitely going to be a tighter game. I think even though they've got obviously clear attacking threat, we're better defensively. I think it will be a tighter one, this. I think it'll be a little bit more like the old Leeds Man United games where it's sometimes a cagey 1-0 either side or a 2-1. That's the way I see it, kind of thing. Could even be a draw. I've just done a Michael Owen there. We could win, lose or draw this game. That's one thing we know for certain. We could win, lose or draw this.
Yeah. Say if it is tight and, you know, it's ones apiece, like say, for example, we know that Manchester United can call on Pogba, they can call on Cavani, they can call on Van der Beek. Who are you looking at the Leeds United bench, you know, and thinking, right, we've got some game changers on there, or someone that, you know, can come on and affect it? You know, we've seen Poveda come on and he played well when he came on against Liverpool. Is there anyone else you would look to on that bench?
Weirdly, I think almost like more defensively. I'm thinking like kind of the way Koch played in that City game. If we are up against it a little bit and balls are coming into the box and Cavani's coming on, maybe you could say bring Koch on at some point to go alongside Phillips or something like that, you know, just to deal with that.
We've seen him do it against City, didn't
he? Exactly. That's a bit more defensive. That's game changing in another way, a bit more from a defensive point of view. But yeah, I think, again, it's the emotional man in me saying Pablo, but Pablo for me, if we are going to use Pablo off the bench, I'd like to get him to come on sooner than with like 5 minutes to go. If you're going to use Pablo, you're going to take that risk. You've got to bring him on with 20 minutes to go. Let him get into the game. But that's the emotional man in me. Click, again, we want to see a little bit more from him. Certainly,
but when he's coming on, he's not affecting games quick at all.
I can't remember anything from that Liverpool game, to be honest. Same with Pablo, really. But they've got to come on a bit sooner for me. If we are. But we know how much they love a late goal. We know how much we love a late goal. So it'd be interesting. The benches could play a big part in this. I think, definitely.
Yeah, I think obviously we do really well when we go in front, but Manchester United do really well when they go behind first. You know what I mean? We see it all the time. I think if you want to back Manchester United, it's always best for them to be losing at half time and to be winning at full time. Hopefully not in this game, but that's what kind of team they are. They've got that very much that Fergie vibe, like back in the day, you know, that Fergie time, getting late goals, going behind, getting back into the game. So, it's going to be interesting. Normally, I think score first and we'll see. But I think this game, it all goes out of the window. I do agree with you. I mean, it'd be a fitting thing if we brought Pablo on earlier and he was to score. You know, that would be the great swan song, wouldn't it? If he was to score the winner, then I would say, right, just don't play him for the rest of the season now, and let that be the moment that we remember Pablo Hernandez for, not for the sort of failed season in the Premier League that he's had, kind of thing. You know, I know he'll always be remembered for Swansea anyway, but you get what I'm saying. It'd be just a beautiful experience for him to go out like that. Do you think, obviously we're getting loads of comments in about Crescenzo Somerville, who's been absolutely tearing it up for the under-23s, an exceptional talent, like Greenwood, like Geldart. You know, I myself can't wait to see them. I think the first time we'll see them is going to be pre-season, personally, but in the first team squad anyway. But do you think there's a case that we might see Somerville because he's direct, he's going to, you know, have a go at these fullbacks, or would it be Poveda first and the only time we'll see Somerville is if there was an injury to another winger?
I think Poveda first. I think the fact that he came on against Liverpool, made an impact. I think if Vader had had a quiet impact against Liverpool, you probably are saying something. Because to be honest, watching the other 23s, Somerville's probably not that far off Pervader's level. He's a lot younger and he's not that far off Pervader's level in terms of showing them products and consistent performance and that lot. But it will be Pervader. I'd be amazed if any of them did come on. I mean, I've even saw Berries on the bench there, you know. That's gonna either end in tears or it's gonna be absolute wonderful happiness. It's either gonna end in a penalty being given away in the 90+6 minute or happiness. But yeah, interesting to see Berry on the bench there. I'm only joking, of course, but it's a young bench, isn't it? I don't look at that bench and think if we're 1 down or 2 down in the game, I'm thinking at least we've got this player off the bench. Player A off the bench, player B off the bench. It's not like when we had Rodrigo on the bench or, options like that. Yeah, when the team
it's even say if Rodrigo and Raphinha were on their way back from fitness but not quite ready to start, them two being on the bench would be huge.
It's a massive boost. Confidence boost. I think that kind of confidence echoes around the fans, the team, Bielsa. I think it has that kind of ripple effect over everyone. But if we're to win this game today, I think it's got to be that starting 11 on the pitch has got to perform. It's not going to be a case of where, it's a hard game to judge because with games like this, form does tend to go out the window quite a lot. Form does tend to go out the window. Like last time we saw, when we lost 6-2, we were actually the form team going into that game. We were actually, I'm not sure if it's true we were above them, but we were certainly a lot closer to them in the table. And we lost the game 6-2. It does, form goes out the window. January the 3rd, we were a League One team. They were European champions and won the Premier League and all this lot. Form goes out the window in these kind of games. We've seen it over the season. There's no fans in the ground. It'll be interesting to see. We'll wait and see. I'm not nervous. I feel all right going to this game. I'm glad more than anything that we've got these games back on the calendar. The biggest game of the season is no longer Huddersfield away or Sheffield United away.
Yeah.
It's proper games of football now.
Yeah.
Proper games of football.
It's what we're waiting for, isn't it? It's what we're back for. It's what we're back in the big time for.
If you're nervous going into a game like this, then we might as well be back in the Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
We might as well be back in the Championship.
Exactly. This is what we waited for. This is what we're back for. And I, for one, cannot wait, I can't wait, mate. And look, let's be under no illusions. Manchester United have been they're second in the league for a reason. They've got some exceptional players. They're unbeaten away from home in the Premier League for quite a long time. So it's always going to be tough anyway. Maybe they're better suited to that just because of the way Ollie sets them up and the pace that they have on the break. But, I'm confident with this Leeds United side, we can always get a result. We went to we went to Manchester City and beat them in their own backyard. We drew with Chelsea. We drew with Liverpool. We've had we've beat Leicester. We've had some fantastic results this season. And, this would be the icing on the cake for me for a fantastic season. Because I do think if we lose today, then it's a bit of we've got 6 games left or 5 games left, we'll just see it out kind of thing, Whereas if we get a win today, then it's all back on, It's going to be tough climbing into the top 7, but win today and we're straight back in the fight for me. That's my opinion. I think lose today and maybe not, but that's the way I look at it, because otherwise we're just like, season now, we're not going to really move anywhere. Do you get what I'm getting at? So this for me is that last, if we can get a positive result today, then the rest of the games actually mean something and let's go. And we've still got, X amount of games. And if we win them and people lose above us, but it just keeps it alive for me. It keeps it alive.
We have genuinely got, after this, is it 5 winnable games after this? So
yeah, because there's Spurs, there's Brighton, there's Burnley, there's West Brom, and there's Southampton.
They are winnable games.
I'm saying.
I'm not saying we're going to win all 5 games, but there's an opportunity there to put a run there together where we can finish a bit higher. We can finish maybe 8th instead of 10th, 7th instead of 9th. It's an opportunity there. So
that's what I'm saying. It is. It's huge. We always said if we can take some points from these next 3, and we've already got 4, we're still, and Manchester United's the last one. If we got a point and win this, then it's huge. And like you said, then 5 games there, Tottenham under Ryan Mason are a totally different outfit, and I think we'll give them a game. And the rest of the games, bar Brighton, we've won and won well. You know what I mean? So why can't we go on a winning run? Why can't we take points and be undefeated? Like, it's a realistic possibility. Even if we lost today out of them 5, we've just gone 5 games unbeaten, and we've played Chelsea, Liverpool and City. So it's a realistic chance that we could go unbeaten between now and the end, because the difference between Leeds and the rest of the league is we're not on the beach. Bielsa will not let these lads be on the beach. You know, Southampton on the beach, Crystal Palace on the beach, Brighton, Brighton and Brighton. But you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Burnley again, another great result for, well, they were winning 2-0 against Wolves. I don't know what the score ended up. I think Chris Wood got them both. But that's another team that they've not really got much to play for. Whereas if we have a chance, you know, then why not? But and I don't worry about squad depth or anything like that. It's all about living in the moment for me. And this is a big game to keep that dream alive. But it's a big game anyway. It's a big game anyway. Fergie's son's in the chat. Look, pipe down, mate. You're getting carried away. We'll see, man.
If you think this is getting carried away, mate, check out our pre-match chat about half an hour before the last time we played. I got carried away that day. I got completely.
Chris Wood actually got a hat trick though. You know, Chris Wood actually got a hat trick today. So 3-0 they beat Wolves. So Wolves on the beach, you know, Burnley on. So I think there's a realistic possibility, but we need to get something from this game today. And fingers crossed we can, bro. Fingers crossed we can. There's almost 600 people watching the live lineup reaction, which is absolutely huge numbers. You know, Wirra said 5 games unbeaten. I can't see it happening. How many games are we unbeaten at the moment, Wirra? 5. Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Fulham, Sheffield United, unbeaten. Won 3 of them. Won 3 of them drew against your lot there. I can see you've got a Chelsea avatar. So we're already 5 games unbeaten. So even if we lost this, we could still go on a 5-game unbeaten run. It is what it is. I mean, Chelsea, just on Chelsea, by the way, your running's rock hard. Rock hard.
We're coming for that top 4 place.
Yeah,
we're coming for that top 4.
Man. We're coming, but you know, big shout from Lee Crisp says it depends on KP and Roberts today. How important? You know, I had a couple of texts. I've had a couple of messages, Facebook messages, and a text off a lad, Danny, and they all have said genuinely. A couple of people have said Roberts is going to score today. Roberts is going to score today, and he's a big performance, doesn't he, mate?
No, 100%. This is where, because I think against City, Liverpool wasn't quite at it. Certainly Liverpool, I don't think he ever looked comfortable in that game. He's got to really show it today. He's got to really get at Fred. I think that's the opportunity. Get Fred on the booking early doors. We know Fred's a very emotional player. If you get him on the booking, it's a different kind of game. We've seen him get sent off a couple of times, with second yellows and that lot. McTominay, I think, is a very good player. I'm not going to lie about that. But certainly Fred, I think, is a player who can be got at. As is Lindelof. I think they're the two in that spine you look at and think we can get them. And that's what Roberts has got to do today. He's got to play the game with his head, not his heart. He's just got to try and get on that ball and make things happen. In the way we expect him to when he's playing in that position, the way he can do, the way he has shown at times this season. Just need a big game. That's the thing. We need a lot of players like Costa, Roberts, Alioski to play at their best level today. We need an 8, 9 top end level from them today to get anything from this for me.
Yeah, that's the thing, innit? Like, we and this is how good Bielsa is that we need to be playing at 90 to 100% of our capabilities in order for us to get a result. Manchester United can maybe have an off game and still get a result because they've got some elite level footballers. You know, ours is more of a unit. You could call Raphinha, he's getting up there, maybe Rodrigo when he's on it. But the rest of the lads, and KP, of course, but the rest of the lads need to be playing at their absolute top of their game. Of course, Llorente as well. But I'm thinking about just the championship squad, i.e. your Roberts, your Costas, they need to be playing at the top of their game in always for, in order for us to get a positive result. That's one thing for sure. And that's why Bielsa's as good as he is. McTominay then, how do we stop him, mate, dictating the play and turning into prime Paul Scholes like he did last time?
I think the big thing he did last time was more how easily he went from box to box without being tracked. Click. It was when Click was starting to drop off in terms of performance level around that time. I think that's probably where I kind of pinpoint it for Click, really. We've just got to make sure we've got Dallas, whoever it is on him, Dallas, Roberts, probably want those two, that they're following him all over that pitch. It's one of those really. McTominay is that kind of player where he's very press resistant. You've seen him in pretty much the very best games, against City and Liverpool, show he is, press resistant. So it's easier said than done, really. I think it's just about, just stopping him get on the ball in the areas he wants to get on the ball. Force him to pick it up a bit deeper and then press him from there. It's easier said than done, mate. It's easier said than done. But I think in those kind of battles, when it's a midfield two, you've got to target the weaker one.
Yeah.
When Fred gets on the ball, bang, you're hitting him with the press. I think that's the thing you've got to do.
Well, I always remember that interview from Troy Deeney when he says, if you look at Fred, he chops and chops again into him, Yeah. So our players will have looked at things like that. And like you say, I think Roberts is a good ball carrier. He can get us out of sticky situations, press Fred, carry the ball and look for the run of Bamford, off Lindelof. That's where we've to attack, The full-backs, for me, we're going to struggle to get Joy down the wing. Like you said, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, one-on-one defending. He's up there with the best in the league. Luke Shaw, for me, has been the best left-back in the league this season, both defending and going forward. He's had an exceptional season. That's why I'm disappointed that Raphinha's not playing. So Costa's got his work cut out there, So we need to,
that's what I mean. It's going to have to be a workman-like game today. With Raphinha missing, Rodrigo missing, Click out of form, all these different bits and pieces. It's going to have to be a work. It's not going to be a game like, say, Villa earlier in the season where we just completely outplayed them, or Leicester late in January, etc. These kind of games we have won. It's going to have to be like that City game. We're going to have to be disciplined at times and not allow that space in transition for Greenwood, Rashford, Dan James to attack. Keep it a little bit more compact. Drop the defensive line a little bit deeper, and just make sure. And again, it's the individual battles as well. We've got to win. Just got to make it give ourselves our best possible chance, and that's what Bielsa will do today. That is what Bielsa will do today. He's shown he's learned from that. If we're anything like what we were against City or Leicester, or second half against Liverpool, we'll give Man United the game today. We will give Man United the game today.
I think there is a lot of Manchester United fans that, and I'm seeing it in the comments, I think a lot of them think this is going to be a walk in the park compared to that because of that previous game. I think a lot of them do, mate. Maybe them that don't watch us regularly, that haven't seen the change, they just assume this is going to be another walk in the park. And it's definitely not. You still might win the game, but it's going to be a lot tighter. I may eat my words, but it's not going to be a walk in the park today. I think Leeds United or Manchester United won for last time. The lads' experience has come on leaps and bounds from that initial fixture. Dallas is playing unbelievably. KP also. I think the lads and Bielsa will be hurting from that 6-2, 100%, and he'll have a plan in place to ensure that doesn't happen today. So we'll wait and see. And Chicken Bum, I see you in the comments, bro. I see you.
Oh no! Don't do this! Don't do this! Calling out people again.
I see you, bro. I see you, and you've triggered us. So I'll see you back, man. I'll see you back. We've had a super chat come in. Good luck today, lad. Says LFC. Aaron, thank you very much. Big up to the Liverpool fans supporting the Mighty Whites today, of course, when we're playing that team in red from across the Pennines. I think the majority of football is against Manchester United due to the ESL stuff anyway. So we have a job to do. We have a job to do for football, really. But yeah, I think what we'll do, Oscar, we've got 5 minutes till the watch-along kicks off. So we'll leave it there. And guys, remember, we'll be back with you at 2:15 for the build-up and the start of the game. Remember to check out Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping. Use the promo code ALLLEEDSTV. The link is in the description. They've got some fantastic gear. Your balls will thank you. Make sure you check them out. I'm going to play that track now. We'll see you over on the watch-along in T-5 minutes. Peace out. See you there. Leeds.